hear me out here. The New York Times is funny. You can make fun of the New York Times. They're idiots, but there's a hidden problem with this that I think we should all focus on. Like, all your attention, smack on this problem. Smack your brain into this one set of sentences because it's very important. If you're living in New York, you have to pay $3,600 rent, but you have to pay it because there's all these people, especially Chinese people. No offense to Chinese people, there's all kinds of people, but there are rich Chinese people moving into places, buying up space, just like there's rich American people buying up apartments, thinking they're vacation apartments, clearly meant to be used for fucking. But the danger isn't Chinese people show up, they buy up stuff, and then they don't use it. They only use it for vacations or whatever. Now, the danger is what happens to those apartments once those Chinese people finally start migrating. So, sooner or later, they're going to have kids, and they're going to migrate into New York, right? This is because China has devastating water losses, devastating problems. But the real issue here is not breaking the mindset of them being communist. Oh, dear, whatever, blah, 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 blah. No, this is about the mindset toward fang guan. Every year, there's something like 300,000 illegal. Not illegal, but not very consensual operations. Transplants from prisoners in China into Chinese officials. Chinese officials, the gift-giving industry there is $4 billion. We're talking about people who come from a country where people were taken out of their homes, tied up, their guts were cut out, and given to the richer officials. What happens when those brats, I am calling them ultra-privileged brats, decide to come into America and start demanding things? Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not against any ethnic Chinese. I personally, I love watching Asian Shield. I totally think that Sky should take on Abomination. The movie Chinese people are weird. I mean, and no, it's not about the caricature, that Irish chick. It's just, it's movies are a mess, basically. But there are people in China right now who are being vivisected for their organs. Now, I'm not saying that it's just 200,000 people dying every year, or 300,000 people. Some officials need kidneys. Some officials need whatever. Maybe they're kept alive. I don't know the specifics, but about what each official needs from those organs, but which organs they need. But there are people who are literally being harvested right now. We're talking 2 million lifetime transplants up to date since the 90s when they started demonizing fang guan. So in the 90s, fang guan was this great big spiritual exercise movement, kind of like yoga, but it had spiritual meanings because it was based on older Chinese spiritualism, and the new government really doesn't, the Chinese government really doesn't like anything supernatural. Like, it's illegal to have supernatural things in Chinese movies. I don't know. I guess Avengers is very vaguely skirting that line. I don't know. Doctor Strange was a lot less strange than what I thought he would be like. But really, it's just, what happens when the Chinese mindset starts marrying the conservative mindset? Or the closet conservative liberal mindset? What happens when they show up in New York and they start demanding things, start demanding certain things. What is going to happen when someone just cannot take it anymore and lashes out against them, beating them senseless, and it's gonna be a fucked up situation, and there's gonna be a hell of a lot of taxpayer money just wasted on nothing. It's gonna be annoying, is what I'm saying. It's the economic problems that could arise from racial tensions like that are gonna be an issue 20 to 30 years from now, if they're not already an issue this decade or next decade. Just 30 years from now, we're gonna have a lot of looking back and thinking about all the bad issues. All the bad issues. It's gonna stink.